Thanks for joining us for another video where I show you some of the capabilities of the new FDM event detection engine in Sky Analyst FDM. In the last video, we showed you a fairly simple example of how Sky Analyst can be programmed to detect incorrect altimeter settings by comparing the flight data to information from an external source such as a database with weather information. We're going to expand on that in this example where we create an event that looks for excessive bank angle on approach. But the twist is that we're going to have different trigger limits depending on the weather conditions. If the flight is in VFR conditions, we'll use a slightly less restrictive limit than we would in IFR conditions. Let's get started. We're going to start off by creating two intermediate events. One event for setting the limits in IMC conditions and the other for setting the limits in VMC conditions. We can tell Sky Analyst to treat these events as intermediate, so don't worry about them affecting your safety statistics. Intermediate events are only building blocks for advanced events. I'll skip the basic administrative details again and jump right to the detection period. Here, we're going to look for height above airfield less than 1,000 feet. Note again the square brackets denoting that height above airfield is obtained from the flight data. I'm going to add a condition here for the arrival visibility less than 3 miles or the arrival ceiling less than 1,000 feet. For our purposes, if either of those conditions are met, the IMC limits will apply. Note the curly braces denoting that this weather information is coming from an external source. Now, for my trigger, I'm going to use one of our built-in math functions to assess the absolute value of the roll angle. In this case, I don't care if the bank is left or right, so I'm just going to take the absolute value and use that. Then I'll set my limits. Next, I'll do the same thing for a VMC event. The steps are basically the same with different weather criterion limits, so I won't walk you through that process. Now, once those two events are defined, we can build our final event, excessive bank angle on approach. The detection period itself is quite easy to define. We just put the event definition names in double curly braces to tell Sky Analyst we're looking for events. Here, if Sky Analyst detects either of these events, it's found the area that we're interested in. Now for the trigger. It's a little more complicated, but still not too bad. We're going to use another math function. This time, I'm going to look at the severity of both intermediate events. Notice the dot notation we use here to identify the severity. The math.max function returns the maximum severity detected, and that becomes our trigger. Although it's unlikely that we'd have both events triggered on a single flight, it still is possible, so programming the event in this way helps ensure that you get the most serious event regardless of weather conditions. Not to mention, it helps me demonstrate some of the new engine's capabilities. You can probably see that we're still scratching the surface here, but defining the events can get quite complex. This really is a programming language. But stay subscribed, and in the next video, I'll show you how Sky Analyst's built-in AI capabilities can help you build some of the more complex events. Until then, fly safe.